Hello, welcome back to another biometrics integration episode. Today, I am going to show you how to do fingerprint registration and fingerprint authentication in a Python Django biometric application that I developed. This application is powered by the HID DigitalPersona 4500 fingerprint scanner. To do this, we are going to start by first opening the PyCharm community ID. This is the icon for the PyCharm community ID where I wrote the Python code for my Python Django biometric application. Let us double click this PyCharm community ID icon to open it. The PyCharm community ID is initializing. So these are the other previous Python projects that I've been working on, but the one that I want to show you today is this one for Python Django biometric integration with HID DigitalPersona 4500 fingerprint scanner. I'm going to click on this to open it. That is part of the code that I was writing for this application. You can see it is actually doing something here at the bottom here. So let me give it time to complete. But then let me know in the comment section which other varieties of biometric devices that you have used in your Python projects. In my case, I've been able to use quite a number of biometric devices, including the HID DigitalPersona 4500, the Authentication A600. Oh, I thought I had done many, so it is only two. That is the Authentication A600. Oh no, there is another one for iris recognition. For iris recognition, I used the Iritech BK21U series of iris scanner. It is a Google type iris scanner because it scans both eyes. So now, to get us started, I am going to type CLS to first clear this screen here. So I type CLS, then I type dir to list the directories. Then I will need to get into this path here, so I will do cd. Then I start typing D, and then I type tab so that it gets the full path. Then we do enter. Then I do dir because I'm actually tracing the path where we have manage.py. So let me first do dir to confirm whether that is where we are. Yeah, that is where we are because I can see we have our manage.py here. So to run the Python Django server, I am going to type Python manage.py. Oh, sorry, I need to do this in lowercase. Python manage.py run server 0.0.0.0 :9000. Then I press enter. So before I press enter, this is what we have. Then I press enter. So now you can see the server is running on this IP address and this port. So I will take you to the web browser right here. Then I need to get the IP address of my computer so that I can run it on my web browser so that we can actually open the Python Django biometric application. So to do that, we'll go to the command prompt, and right here is the IP address of my computer. So I select it. Then I come back here to the web browser. Then I type. Remember, we need to do it as follows. We need to have this 9000 port, and for the address, we will have this bit here. So let us do that. 10.243.74.105, then full colon, then 9000, that is the port. Then the URL, sorry, the entry point for registering fingerprints, which is register. So I press enter. So there we go. Here is our registration panel for this Python Django biometric application. And this is the area for doing fingerprint registration. And then at the very end, we have the two buttons, that is cancel and submit. So before we start with the registration, I would like to first take you to the backend so that you can see the table where registered particulars of a person, that is whatever data that we will capture here for the biometrics engineer, and the biometric fingerprints that we will enroll, where they will actually be saved in the MySQL database backend. To access the MySQL database backend, I'm using a tool that is called HID SQL database management tool. Here it is. Let me open it. So there it goes, and this is the entry for our applications database. So I mean, the password is already entered and the user, because I was using it previously, that is this one here. So I will just do open. Then we come here to this table here. So we need to confirm whether there is any data inside our table. So to do that, we will just run this query here. So I click run. You can see there is nothing. There is actually nothing. I could do it again. I click run. So there is actually nothing here. But when we finally succeed to do biometric registration of the person, we will be able to see that entry right here. Let us go back to the application on the web browser. So I will minimize this for now. Then I come here. Let us do an entry that we will save to the MySQL database backend, and then later we'll come back to the HID SQL database management tool to review how that entry was entered inside the database. And at the very end, we will carry out fingerprint authentication to confirm that our registration was actually successful. So we go back to the registration panel right here. Then we start capturing the person's detail. So for first name, I will type Joseph. For surname, I will type Moema. For tech role, I will type biometrics engineer. For email, I will type my official email address, that is for biometric scanner, I will type HID DigitalPersona 500. For technology used, I will type Python Django. For database, I will type SQL. For website, I will type my official website address. So I've captured the input particulars for the biometrics engineer. What is remaining is for us now to enroll now their biometrics fingerprint data. I usually prefer to do 2 fingerprints capture per person, with one being from the left hand and the other one being from the right hand. My preferred finger of choice for biometric enrollment is usually the index finger. This is because the index finger is less prone to injuries, unlike the thumb. You see, the way we pull things with, while exerting more force on the thumb. So the thumbs are more likely to get injuries, and their biometric fingerprint patterns may not be always clear, unlike when you choose to use the index fingers. So I'm going to enroll the left index finger and the right index finger. So to enroll the left index finger, I am going to select the left index finger. Observe what happens. So I click on it, then we get this message here, enroll left index finger, and you say okay. Then I present my left index finger on the HID DigitalPersona 4500 fingerprint scanner. So observe what happens. Yeah, the left index finger has been enrolled. This window here will disappear on its own, or I could just click OK, but after a short while it actually disappears. So we've actually enrolled the left index finger. So suppose we just click submit before we enroll the right index finger. Observe what will happen. So we get stopped by this message. Only one finger is enrolled. Please enroll one more finger. So you can't proceed with the registration until you have actually enrolled 2 fingers. So to enroll the right index finger, I am going to select it and click on it. I get this prompt, enroll right index finger. We say okay. So now what I'm going to do is that I am going to present my right index finger on the HID DigitalPersona 4500 fingerprint scanner. Observe what happens. So the right index has actually been enrolled. Now in our application, we have enrolled, we have captured the person's details. We have enrolled biometrics data from 2 of their fingers. So now we are ready to submit this data to the database. And to do that, I am just going to click submit. Observe what happens. So we'll click this submit here, this submit button here. So I just click submit. So we get this message, biometrics engineer consultant registered successfully. Let us confirm whether this was actually true, and if indeed it was actually true, how was this data saved in our MySQL database? But to do that, we'll need to go back to our HID SQL database management tool. Here it is. So we open it. There's this query that we ran at the very beginning. Remember when we ran it at the very beginning before we enrolled any data, inside our application, it actually returned nothing. But right now, if we run it after we have done this registration, we should be able to see the data that we have enrolled a few seconds ago. So let us run this query again. That is the select query. So I click run here. So you can see there is this entry here. Initially there was nothing because this table here was actually empty at that time. But right now it has a single row entry after we did registration of a person. So you can see that from the row entry that we currently have, we have our person that we successfully saved into the database. Let us go through the items, all the items one by one. So you can actually see that for F name, it actually saved Joseph, that is the first name. You can see that for the S name, it saved Moima, that is the surname. And for tech role, you can see that it actually saved Biometrics engineer, just the same data that we entered. For email, you can see that it saved my official email address. For biometric scanner, you can see it actually saved the HID DigitalPersona 4500. For the tech stack, you can see it saved Python Django. For database, you can see that it saved MySQL. For website, you can see it actually saved my official web address. For finger 1, you can see the finger 1 entry there. For finger 2, you can see the finger 2 entry there. And then you can also see the date and time that it was created. Okay, so that's it. This bit we can conclude that our fingerprint registration was successful. Now let us go back to the web so that we can do fingerprint authentication. Let us do authentication. To do authentication, we will still need the same address. Remember, we had this web address we had this URL for register. So we could just reuse it. We copy it, then we open a new tab here. But instead of register, okay, let me first paste this here. Instead of register, we just have authenticate. Authenticate is what I designated for doing authentication. So I'm going to press enter. So this is the Biometrics Engineer authentication panel. You can see it doesn't have the two hands for enrolling fingerprints because here we are only concerned with doing fingerprint authentication. So let us present our left index finger on the HID DigitalPersona 4500 and observe what happens. Remember, the left index finger is one of those fingers that we enrolled during registration. So actually during registration, we enrolled the left index finger and the right index finger. If at any time we present any other finger on the scanner apart from those two, we should get a no match. Otherwise, if we present the two fingers that we enrolled with, we used for fingerprint enrollment during the registration, we should get a finger match found, and we also get the details of the person that was actually authenticated. So for the first scenario, I am going to use the left index, which is one of the fingers that I used for registration. So observe what happens. So you see, the application returns the name of the person. So it says Joseph Moima found. And then you can see that the input fields, before I even click OK, you can see the input fields have actually been populated after authentication was successful. So let us click OK so that we can go and review the fields. So you can see it populated these fields with the person's details after fingerprint authentication was successful. That is after I presented the correct enrolled finger on the HID DigitalPersona 4500 fingerprint scanner. Right? So let us clear this so that we can do another test. So I click clear details. Observe this button here, clear details. So all the fields have now been cleared. Now let us remember that previously we have used the left index authentication and it was able to retrieve the person and their details. Now let's do the same, but now for the right index finger. Observe what happens. So I am presenting my right index finger on the HID DigitalPersona 4500 fingerprint scanner. Observe what happens. You see, it retrieved the person's name, that is Joseph Mwema, found. And at the back of this, what do I call it? This message here, this alert message, you can see that the input fields have also been populated with the details of the authenticated person. So let me click OK here so that we can go through them. So you can see first name, Joseph, surname, Mwema, tech role, biometrics engineer, email, my official email address, biometric scanner, the HID DigitalPersona 4500. The technology uses the Python Django, database is MySQL, the website is my official web address. So now if you are integrating this in your Python Django application, you would now after the authentication, you would make it such that this button only, this submit details button only appears after your authentication is successful. Otherwise, if your authentication did not find a match, in your code you find a way to make it disappear. You make it, you make sure it doesn't appear. So because there would be no need for you to submit details of no one. You get it? As in, if there was no match, you will have no data to submit. So I did not do that, but I'm thinking in a scenario where I have to do an integration where something is supposed to be done after authentication has happened. I will only enable this submit details to be visible only if there was a fingerprint match found. So now the only test that we have not carried out yet is for the scenario where there was no match. So let me use my left thumb to do authentication. Remember, the left thumb is not one of those fingers that we enrolled. So it will result in a no match. Okay, let us do that right away. So I'm placing my left thumb on the HID DigitalPersona. Observe what happens. So you see, we got no match found. Please try again. And do you know one other thing that happened? The fields that were populated in the previous instance of authentication have also been cleared. So there is nothing that is being displayed in the fields of the person because the result was a no match. So there was no one. There was no one that was retrieved after the no match scenario. So there's no data to be displayed. So that's what I was saying. In an integration where you have carried out a fantastic integration, you would make it such that if there was no match, you don't have this button being displayed because there is nothing to do. Because for now, for instance, if I click submit details and there is nothing, it is just going through. It will be doing a lot of nothing in the backend. So for no match, you could make this disappear. But for scenarios where there is a fingerprint match found, then you make it visible so that it can actually submit, so that you can actually do post-authentication activities that you want to do after you have successfully managed to do fingerprint authentication of a person. So let us wind up this by doing another fingerprint authentication using the right index, and then we call it a day. So let me place my right index finger on the HID DigitalPersona 4500 fingerprint scan. Observe what happens. So it retrieved Joseph Mwema, and we actually received this message here, Joseph Mwema found. So there was a finger match. And you can also see that the fields have also been populated with the details of the person that was matched to the right index finger that I presented on the fingerprint scanner. Now let me just click OK here, so you can see the particulars of the person that was successfully authenticated. So basically that's it. Actually, this video brings us to the end of this series of videos that I have been doing for Python Django biometric application. Thank you for watching these videos, and thank you for also watching this last episode. Let me know in the comment section what other scanners you would like to see me do more integrations of, and you could also let me know what other languages would you like to see me carry out more biometric integrations with. See you in the next one. Bye bye.